We have breaking news coming in. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar meets US State Secretary Marco Rubio. Jaishankar, in a social media post, said, and I quote, "Glad to meet Marco Rubio this morning in Kuala Lumpur. Appreciated the discussion on our bilateral ties as well as regional and global issues." So we have CNN News 18's Akansha Swaroop live with us right now. Akansha, very good morning to you. First things first, please tell us how it is going to, the Rubio and Jaishankar meeting, how it's going to enhance US-India ties, especially. Will it, help ease the recent trade and visa tensions between the two countries?
A very good morning, Sukanya. This is a very significant timing of a meet, because yesterday we also heard how Marco Rubio had backed deeper US and Pakistan engagement. This when Shehbaz Sharif met again with the US president. And Marco Rubio had also expressed that there is unease. He had admitted that there's unease in the US-India relationship. So based on India's purchases of Russian oil. But remember, after the sanctions that have taken place on the two Russian oil majors, Lukoil and Rosneft, India is bound to now start diversifying its oil portfolio. So this timing of the meet is very critical. And Marco Rubio in our meeting, Dr. Jaishankar, we are awaiting a formal press release by the Ministry of External Affairs on that meet. But Dr. Jaishankar taking to X to make that announcement is in itself very important, where he's talked about how they have discussed bilateral relations. And so we can expect the Indian side, Dr. Jaishankar, to have communicated that they will be looking towards diversifying their oil purchases, which means that we could just be amping up our purchase of oil from OPEC, traditional West Asian suppliers like Iraq, UAE, Saudi Arabia. We've also now increased our purchases, say, from West Africa, Latin American nations, even the United States. And that is something even Marco Rubio had hinted yesterday. Marco Rubio is somebody who, from the Donald Trump administration, has been extremely optimistic about the US-India Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. And so we can expect this bilateral relationship only to be moving forward under the US Secretary of State and India's External Affairs Minister. More importantly, reports are indicating that there could be a reduction of tariffs from 50% to 15%, and that remains extremely critical. Remember, in November, we were supposed to be playing host to the Quad. And that right now seems to be up in the air. There's absolutely no mention of that. So much is resting upon how India and the United States are able to forge a better sort of bilateral trade agreement. At the same time, the the Indian Commerce Minister, Mr. Piyush Goyal, has already indicated just days ago when he was in Berlin that we do not do any trade deals in a rush. But as he said, that perhaps this entire sanctioning of Russian oil could have arrived as a silent boon to India, because now India is almost obligated into diversifying its oil purchases. And that also sort of maintains the status quo between Moscow and New Delhi, because it doesn't make it appear as a diplomatic or an economic compulsion for India. In fact, the sanctions are now pushing all countries who were purchasing Russian crude to be diversifying their sellers now.
Right. Akansha, you mentioned an excellent point on Islamabad. Do you think Rubio's statement now suggests some sort of reassurance after the recent US-Pakistan warmth?
Right. So just ahead of Dr. Jaishankar's meet, Marco Rubio had conceded that there is unease in this bilateral relationship between US and India. He had also backed deeper US-Pakistan ties. So he had, to quote him verbatim, Sukanya, he had gone on to say that I don't think anything we are doing with Pakistan comes at the expense of our relationship or friendship with India, which is deep, historic, and important. So that means that they also prioritize their bilateral relationship with India, which of course has a multi-dimensional quality to it, which is not just economic in nature, it's also strategic in nature, given the role that India plays in the security of Indo-Pacific and in Quad as an alliance. And given how they wanted India to be that countering force to China, of course, it can't be Pakistan countering China, so they have that dependency on India, which they can't do away with. But at the same time, there's been a lot of praise coming in for the Pakistani Prime Minister and the Field Marshal Asim Munir, that too by the US President Donald Trump himself, who's met Shehbaz Sharif yet again after that recent meeting on the sidelines of UNGA. And Shehbaz Sharif, his sycophancy has indeed earned brownie points from the US President, because he's not just nominated him for the Nobel Peace, but he's also lauded his peace efforts. He's given him that much wanted credit that the US President has been looking for, which was that, yes, he mediated between India and Pakistan, which in reality has not been the case, as has already been communicated by the highest echelons of Indian administration, from the Prime Minister to Dr. S. Jaishankar, our External Affairs Minister. We've all been very vehemently clear that it was a direct bilateral discussion as far as whatever happened post Operation Sindoor is concerned. But yes, the Secretary of State Marco Rubio has again lauded the relationship they share with Pakistan. He's also gone on to say that we see an opportunity to expand a strategic relationship with Pakistan. They don't think they are doing anything that will come at the Indian expense. And as part of a revived agreement, the United States and Pakistan have signed an agreement to develop and export rare earth minerals, which are seen as a key strategic component of Washington's own efforts, Sukanya, to reduce their dependence on China for critical supply chains. So, yes, this meeting comes at a very critical time when Pakistan itself, its own economic ties are under huge, immense strain.
Right. Akansha, hold that thought, because we have another important